let's now talk about politics. Because the 2024 presidential candidate, Kennedy, 2024 presidential aspirant of the MPP, Kennedy Agyapong, has formally withdrawn from the New Patriotic Party ongoing thank you tour, citing security threats to his supporters as the reason behind the decision. That the move comes in the wake of a violent altercation in Kumasi, where a student from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology was stabbed. The MPP stalwart insisted no amount of intimidation will make him forfeit a decision to contest the flag bearership again. Nana Ojima has more in this report.
The New Patriotic Party's thank you tour of the country has been rocked with some controversies since its beginning. A young man whose name is being withheld is alleged to have been stabbed for resisting attempts by some party thugs to retrieve a gift of cash received from a friend of Kennedy Agyapong. According to the politician, persons showing up for him at various venues of the party's thank you tour have often been threatened. He says his security details have signaled their inability to guarantee the safety of his entourage and others who troop to the various venues for his sake.
Lives are threatened. I don't think I can protect my team enough. So we want out so that Dr. Bawumia can do his campaign tour. I admit that he was the flag bearer. So if he's going round, and for the sake of unity, he invites it, and it turns out to be something different. I mean, we just have to stay away for them to do their own thing. So in brief, all I'm saying is, my team is pulling out, but I still call for unity in the party. This will not scare me to leave the party. We built the party from 1990 till now. So as for intimidation, they should rest assured that intimidation will not help them. I'm not somebody you can intimidate for me to stay out of the party. I'm still a party member. I'm calling for unity.
The strong-speaking politician has refused to respond to the allegations and alleged assaults, but insists on fighting for justice for the students.
And therefore, if I'm preaching for unity, I will not preach violence. I just want everybody, all supporters, to calm down. But I'll make sure justice is done to the student who was hurt. I mean, publications are coming out that my supporters were fighting over 2,000 cities. It wasn't 2,000, it was just 1,000 cities that Ali Suraj security that he brought snatched from the students. So it's not my support who were fighting over 2,000. That is not true.
Meanwhile, former flag bearer aspirant of the NPP, Kennedy Agyapong, has indicated his readiness to contest the flag bearership again when nominations are opened.
And at an appropriate time, I assure them that we are also going to campaign. I want everybody to know, every party member to know that I'm going to contest. Indeed, they should be ready. And respectfully, nobody can tell me to back off. I will not back off. Because we started from 1990 till now.
The incident has been reported to the police, with 3 spent ammunition shells tendered in as evidence of shooting by the thugs. For Joy News, Nana Ojima, Kumasi.
Well, yesterday, a former chief of staff, Kojo Mpiani, who is also a leading member of the MPP, urged the national executives of the party to suspend the ongoing thank you tour. Mr. Mpiani further wants the party to set up a committee to study the content of the Professor Michael Quay's report and advise the party on the way forward instead of embarking on this thank you tour.
That the government didn't perform well, and as head of the government, you should take a lot of the blame. I believe what did he say? I remember during the elections, he said somewhere that the box talked to him. Did he say that?
Right.
So he should take, if we have done so well that Ghanaians were prisoners, he would have been the person that we president. Kufuor's administration has done so well that we should do this. So if the administration didn't do well, he should take the blame for it.
So, Ms. Ampiani, this afternoon you are calling for the party to maybe take a step back, maybe discontinue this thank you tour. Look at why it
I
lost.
believe so. They should take a step back. What is happening is that it's not good for the party, and get back indoors and find a way out of this mess.
When the party is in opposition and the national chairman becomes the leader of the party, in this tour, we appear to be seeing Dr. Bawumia as the face of it. Is it right? Well,
I think you have answered it yourself. If the chairman is the leader, then he should be the face of this tour, not a candidate who may want to contest again. And there are others who also want contesting.
Right. So joining me on the telephone line is a member of the Agyapong team, Kwesi Kwatem, alongside the national organizer of the MPP, Henry Nana Boakye. First, let me start with you, Nana B. Good afternoon, and I'm guessing that you are still in the Ashanti region. Right, we've lost Nana B on the line. We'll try and record it with him. But let me bring in Mr. Kwesi Kwatem. Mr. Kwesi Kwatem, good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Right.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Right, so great to have you. So, I mean, withdrawing from the thank you tour, you think is the way to go? That's for a lot of people further deepens what they consider to be crisis in the MPP.
Come again, respectfully.
So I was asking that withdrawing from the thank you tour, as announced by Mr. Agyapong, are you certain that it is the best decision, knowing very well that the party is at the stage where everybody needs to be on board for the unity that you are craving for?
Well, the biggest priority of Mr. Agyapong, for me, rests not on himself, but the greater good and survival of humanity. And in the even spirit of, or in the light of good conscience, it doesn't sit well for him to still embark on a tour where, at the end of the day, like he earlier indicated, the safety and the security of his team members are not fully guaranteed. And of course, in solidarity with this young man who is still struggling for his life, Mr. Agyapong is of the view that he has to withdraw and take a keen attention and interest in the health of this young person. At least that will also be symbolic to everybody that supports the Ken brand and demonstrate that it's not really about Ken, and that when you join him and there is any misstep or any problem you find yourself in, any challenge, he will be there to also support you. But broadly, we made the decision in the broader interest of the party, so that peace and unity will prevail. Because at the end of the day, if Mr. Agyapong's continuous presence in the thank you talk poses a threat or impediment or an inconvenience to the extent that a young, innocent student can be stabbed, we are of the view that within this context and within this space, it is proper for him to take a step back whilst allowing the process to proceed. But, I mean, let me also hasten to add that he is in no way abandoning the party. He still remains true to the colors of the party and the values of the party, and still will preach unity even after having taken this position. If you recall, he even also announced that this will not deter him from contesting.
All right.
And so clearly, he will still be part of the party and support the party.
I'll come back to you, but let me bring in Henry Nana Boakye, national organizer of the MPP. Nana B, good afternoon and welcome.
Elton, good afternoon.
So I've heard you speak on a number of occasions. Yourself, the General Secretary, you've been very conciliatory in your comments, especially at the start of this thank you tour. I mean, to the extent that sometimes you come to admit the role that for a lot of people did not go well, and then inviting those who were hurt to come on board. This latest setback, to what extent would it affect the unity that you are craving for?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me make this clear. The party will resist any attempt to connect the unfortunate incident that happened, the stabbing, the young man. We will resist any attempt to connect, to make that nexus to the ongoing NQ. I have cited statement from Unity Hall, and they have clearly stated in that whatever is not connection with whatever rivalry as perceived or between Honorable Kennedy Agyapong and His Excellency the former Vice President. So I won't get any attempt to link that unfortunate incident. It is criminal and it must be handled as such.
Mr. Agyapong appears to be on a different wavelength as far as this matter is concerned. You think that his supporters may be a subject of attack?
No, for what I've read, these are a group of young guys who were brought in from Unity Hall. I was in Unity Hall myself. I was a member of the Traditional Council. And this is a conventional practice. Any political party at all can invite them. And then they can go and give a presentation through morale. That is singing. That is how we term it. So for me, what happened and what I've heard people say, they were giving some money, somebody went to collect it, and a scuffle ensued, and the stabbing happened. I'm told that there were also some gunshots. Look, this is a purely criminal matter, and I'm aware that the police is going into it. But what I will reject as the national organizer is for any narrative to be put on this incident that, look, let's connect it to Honorable Kennedy Agyapong and His Excellency the Vice President. No. And that is why I'm saying that I'm making reference to the statement that came out. And I'm very happy that they cleared the air, that it is not in connection to that.
So therefore, what do you make of Mr. Agyapong's reason? He's basing his decision not to be part of the thank you tour on what happened.
Oh, I think I respect that decision. The decision is that, yes, maybe this happened to this young man because I'm told that supporters of Honorable Kennedy Agyapong brought these Kunti guys in. So that is where, again, I also agree with my brother Kwating when he says that in solidarity with what has happened, he is pulling out. I respect that decision. I respect that act. That is fair enough. But all that I'm trying to say is that the narrative out there that, look, the new Patriotic Party's thank you tour is featured with all of these unfortunate incidents because of the rivalry as it perceived to be the rivalry between Honorable Kennedy Agyapong and His Excellency the Vice President. In fact, throughout the tour, they've had very cordial relationships.
Right.
They've been talking. They've been having tete-a-tete. I mean, you recall that an unfortunate incident happened in Bono region.
Yes.
Between Honorable Kennedy Agyapong and then the Bono regional chairman. And even the former vice president and all of them, they exchanged in some pleasant exchanges, and that calmed tensions down. So that is why I'm saying that nobody should try to create an unfortunate incident between the former vice president and Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. And throughout the campaign, I've listened to Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. He's been preaching peace. He's been preaching togetherness. Let's forge ahead. Let's move ahead. So for me, the tour, and again, I will also disagree with anybody who says that, oh, we need to suspend the tour, we need to stop it. No, I'll disagree.
I was actually coming to that to ask you what you make of the call.
Okay.
Especially, but
it is a decision of National Council. It is not a decision of 2 or 3 or 4 people. This is National Council's decision, the second highest decision-making body of the party. Yes, we went in for an election. We suffered a humiliating defeat. And all of these issues are within the regions. In fact, we should have even embarked on this tour some months ago. But because of Professor Michael Quay's
report, that was yet to come.
Report, or the assignment nationwide, we had to suspend it. They presented it 2 weeks ago, and then we started the thank you tour. Yes, we need to engage the party structures. We need to we did not win, but we also need to go and appreciate their hard work, and also tell them what really happened and how and why we must stay together so that we can win 2028. So in every elections, after whether we win or we lose, you will see that the presidential candidate were back on a thank you tour. This time around, it was different. It was the party, the 2024 presidential candidate, and the council decided that let's invite all presidential aspirants to be part to display unity.
All right. Let me allow Mr. Kwarteng in.
The fact is that anybody who says that I will disagree with the person. Yes, if you go and you face challenges, you face them. You need to just make sure you deal with it. You don't run away.
All right.
No. So I would disagree with anybody who says that we need to suspend it, we need to stop it. No, we don't. We must confront these issues now so that we resolve our issues better than staying on it and then facing these challenges later.
I'll come back to you to ask you whether people announcing their intention to contest this position or that is premature and what the party make of it. But let me allow Mr. Kwarteng. Mr. Kwarteng, in listening to Mr. Kennedy Agyapong in that video clip that we played, he kept referencing we are withdrawing so that Dr. Bawumia can continue with his campaign. Is that the vibe he gets, that this is a campaign for the former vice president?
Say that even before joining Mr. Kennedy Agyapong's team, I was a member of the MPP first.
Right.
So whichever way, I am mindful of my public utterances and comments. I am more interested and aligned to the overall context within which he situated his withdrawal. That for him, he believes that he's doing that in the interest of peace, in the interest of party harmony, and the collective unity of the party. And again, he also referenced that of the young boy who is battling his life and the fact that he needed to pay attention to him. And I will waive that invitation to discuss whether or not the ongoing tour is a campaign for the current vice president. The former vice president,
right,
as we all know, made some comments. Of course, he made some presentations during the talk. And those ones were also in the public space. And so with that question, I will leave it to the jury out there as to whether the posturing and the remarks made marks that of a campaign. I will not be in a sole position to make remarks on it, but I will leave that to the jury out there, whether or not it's a projection of him or not. But what I know is that our decision is based on the supreme interest of the party, so that if we are of the view that our continuous and consistent presence in the thank you tour, as referenced by Mr. Kennedy Agyapong, is not fully welcome, and that is a feeling that we must respect, that he has, and we must respect. We are of the view that within that specific context and within the time frame, it is better for us to withdraw, and I'm sure subsequently we can still come together and conduct other activities or events as one people and one party. But our commitment to the party remains so high, and Mr. Kennedy Agyapong is still very connected to ensuring that the unity and peace of the party is really
but Mr. Kwarteng, because of what you said, do I get the impression that you feel you are not, you feel like an outsider in this particular enterprise when you use the word that you didn't feel so much welcomed?
No, that was what Mr. Kennedy Agyapong mentioned. But I mean, you see, bottom line is that Mr. Kennedy Agyapong is known by how passionate and free he speaks about his opinions. And I'm not sure he's also intimidated by anything. Kennedy Agyapong is not a pushover. So I do not subscribe to the view that he may feel being left out. He will find his place, he will fight for his place. But for us, we are of the view that within this time frame, and looking at the incident that has happened, an incident that pertains the life of a young student supporter, and especially where we are unable to guarantee the security and safety of the other members of the team, we felt that it was only wise to press the brakes whilst we get down. And of course, it does not necessarily mean that when you get down from the bus cannot move. The bus can proceed, but we were of the view that the acceleration of the bus was not going to help us, especially with our presence within the bus.
Let me come in here and perhaps let's clear this matter. The party has rules and regulations governing the conduct of internal elections. In fact, in time past, the party had come heavy on those who picked ahead of time. Mr. Kennedy Agyapong was emphatic in that video clip that he will contest the presidential race of the party, which me and you know that it is very far away from today. The party is going through a phase in terms of rediscovering itself after what happened in the last election. Comments like this, when you are even seeking to bring everybody together, don't you think he is just being a little, going ahead of himself?
Well, I mean, let's not pretend. Who does not know that the former vice president is nurturing ambitions to come back again? Likewise, somebody like Mr. Kennedy Agyapong. We've also heard that of the Honorable Champion and that of my former boss. And even I still consider him as my boss.
But they've not made it official. They are yet to make such pronouncements official.
I am coming. Yes, I am coming there. If you would allow me to learn.
Right.
I want to say that in all these discussions, context is very important. And when you take the text out of the context, you only be discussing the pretext and not the main substantive issue. At the end of the day, he laid the foundation. And the foundation was that if these attacks on his supporters, and his understanding was meant to silence him and distract him from contesting, then he was going to disappoint people with such motives. And so the context was very important. There was an if clause. There was a caveat. If it is not so, then we all move on. So it is not as though he just announced that I'm going to contest in violation of clear party rules. He premised it on a certain caveat.
Right.
And the caveat was that if people believe that they are going to use these tactics, these distractions to prevent me from contesting, then look, I'm going to disappoint them. I am not sure this is in any way violating any party provision. But I mean, I do not make those final decisions beyond my pay scale. I'm sure if he flouts any such rules, there are people responsible for addressing same.
Can he allow the national organizer of the party to speak to this? Nanabi, is this a healthy comment? I mean, I've heard, for example, the former Subin MP say that I will contest the general secretary position of the party. Now we are hearing from Mr. Kennedy Agyapong at the time where you are seeking to put the house together.
Elton, let me quickly address something. Kwesi just mentioned. And you see, this toll, it is never meant to project anybody. You see, that clarification must be well pivoted on two issues. Number one, it was a National Council's decision to go on this thank you tour. Number two, National Council said invite all presidential aspirants to be part. So it cannot be that this tour is intended to project a particular person, in this case, the vice president. If that were to be the reason, then clearly there will be no need for us to even feature the presidential aspirant. Because as I said, over the years, presidential aspirants, whether we win or we lose, they go on their thank you tour. So that is the first point. So it is never to protect anybody. And indeed, I will say this, and I will advise my brother Kwesi. I'm happy the kind of work he's doing for Honorable Ken. But sometimes we, the followers, we create the tension. Look, we were coming from Takrade to Agona Nkwanta. Immediately, we got to, Honorable Ken got to Agona Nkwanta. He pulled me to the side. We had one more stop. And he was telling me that we need to structure the program well so that we can move to the next stop. Because we had finished with the first two programs. And we were really behind time. Then all of a sudden, a footage comes out.
That you were being warned.
Then I was being warned. And then the person said that Honorable Kennedy, in his usual self, threatened Nanabi. I mean, very bizarre. Very, 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 very bizarre. And it was very unfortunate. Then the next minute, I also saw another post saying that, Nanabi has been slapped by Opariansa. And then I saw people justifying that, that is the reason why Honorable Ken pulled him out to console him. These are people. In fact, it was a member of the tour who took that video and put it out there. So, please, sometimes the tension will never be created by the principal actors. Most of the time, the tension would be created by the followers. That is why I'm saying that my brother Kwesi has a Herculean task. He is with a very huge figure. Yes, it is very important that some of the things we say and we do, we are mindful of. And I'm happy he said that he is a member of the New Patriotic Party first. Again, I admire the work he's doing for Honorable Ken. But he should always be careful that whatever they do, especially because he's leading people, because he's doing this work, obviously he has followers. You should be able to caution them.
So those who are declaring their ambition ahead of time,
that is what I'm coming to. No, I mean, for me, I listened to Honorable Ken. He said that when the time, in fact, at the point, he even mentioned that when nominations are open, I'll contest.
Right.
Yeah, he said that. So I do not find anything wrong with it.
Okay.
And again, we should not play the ostrich here. As Percy said, we know a number of people who are losing their put. We just have to manage it in a proper manner. That is all. That is why, for me, I have called for this presidential primaries to be conducted very early, honestly speaking.
Right.
Because it looks like we spend too much time on internal elections and then we keep hurting ourselves.
Okay. All right. Mr. Kwarteng, final words so that I can allow Nanabi to also tell me what is coming up on Monday. Mr. Kwarteng, your final words on this subject. Well, I don't think we have Mr. Kwesi Kwarteng on the line. So, yes, so please. Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
All right, please go ahead for me. Your final thoughts on this matter before I bring the curtain down.
Let me take the opportunity to salute my senior and my boss, Nana B. I am glad to share the same platform with him for this discussion. and I'm excited about his reconciliatory posture. I want to say that Honorable Kennedy Agyapong also represents a greater reconciliatory and unity. And this is not in any way to cast aspersions on the ongoing process. We believe in it in the first place. That is why we even joined. I just that it's become very crucial that we ought or needed to make a very crucial decision. And we felt that within this present moment, it was better to prioritize the lives of our ordinary Ghanaians, ordinary students, ordinary party members, and even the life of team members, especially when we even believe so highly that our withdrawal will not even truncate the process and the process can still pursue. So we did this out of good faith, and our commitment, like I indicated, I don't want to reiterate again, to fostering unity and peace within our party still remains. And we will do everything possible.
All right.
I'm sure when it comes to matters of presidential candidacy ahead of 2028, the right time will come. But assurance is that, like he indicated, it will be contested, and who will be there to also support him as well.
All right, Mr. Kwasi, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Let me allow Nana B final talks on another matter. So if I allow you to put on your wig and to deal with the matter of the Chief Justice, the Ghana Bar Association yesterday formally presented its communique after the media review. They say that President Mahama acted unconstitutionally when he suspended the Chief Justice. Government officials, including the Deputy Attorney General, says that that cannot be true and that whatever resolution they pass amounts to nothing. You are hitting the streets on Monday. In view of all that is happening, we are waiting to join the Attorney General to tell us what they make of the GBA statement, plus other breaking that is coming in. But on Monday, you are hitting the streets. In view of all that, some people say that the President is acting according to law. What do you make of first the GBA resolution, and then why Ghanaians should join you on the streets on Monday?
Elton, there is a serious onslaught on the judiciary. And this, for me, is a violent and a political attack on the judiciary. And you see, the NDC, they had already advertised their intentions. When they were in opposition, they started calling the head of the judiciary names and then all of that. And indeed, I recall that there was one time Mr. Mahama was addressing some NDC party lawyers, and then he said that, yes, he's yearning for a reform, but the reform cannot happen under the current leadership unless they change the leadership. And in fact, even Mr. Isedun Ketia is on record recently, last week, on Accra Radio, saying that, we are going to clear the Chief Justice. And after we have cleared the Chief Justice, we're also going to clear the Electoral Commission and her deputies. I mean, so you clearly can see through the crystal ball that this is an agenda cloaked with some constitutional procedure, ill constitutional procedure. Let me put it that way. Because, you see, for you to suspend the whole chief of staff, Ghanaians don't know why you have suspended her. The whole chief of staff.
Chief Justice, for that matter.
Sorry. The whole Chief Justice, sorry. For the president to suspend a whole Chief Justice, the head of the judiciary, and we don't even know what happened, what ensued. In fact, we're even being told by elements of this government what really happened. We were told by some agency that what happened during the consultation with the Council of State. We have also been told about EDUG, all of. So already they are telling us what is happening behind these closed doors. Already. This is an important exercise for Ghanaians. That is why we have this coalition of political parties coming together to demonstrate. We need to protect our democracy.
Okay.
We need to protect the judiciary. It is under serious attack. And let me tell you, there is a sinister motive. The president knows that it's going to be very difficult for him to amend the constitution if he has to go for a referendum. He knows very well. The intelligence we have picked is that he wants to control the judiciary so that he will sponsor a judicial interpretation of the constitution to say that when the constitution in Article 62 says that a person can only be a president for 2 terms. The Constitution meant continuously, consecutively. So for that matter, Mr. Mahama was only a president for 1 term. So it does not satisfy that. You see how in U.S. Trump also displayed a certain mindset that he wanted to go for a 3rd term. That is the same mindset.
Okay.
So that will be an easier approach for him. Let me control the judiciary. Let them give a certain judicial interpretation of the Constitution to the effect that I can go for another term and then I go for another term. We must fight a democratically elected leader who is turning out to be a constitutional tyrant and a dictator.
All right, we'll leave it here for now because of a breaking story that is coming to. Thank you very much.
On Monday, straight.
All right.
Let's hit the street.
All right, Henry Nanabuache is national organizer of the NPP. I'll be taking you shortly to the former information ministry where the Attorney General is about to address the media. But news just in, the former National Signals Bureau boss, Kwabena Dubuahene, has been charged with 11 counts of criminal offenses, including stealing and defrauding by false pretenses. Below are the persons who have also been charged together with Mr. Kwabena Dubuahene. And we'll bring that Angela Agyapong, that's the wife. She's the second accused. There's also Mildred Donko, the third accused. There's also Advantage Solutions Limited as the fourth accused. And this is a statement that is part, there is the government, that is the case against Mr. Dubuahene and the 3 others. Stealing, contrary to Section 124 of the Criminal Offences Act. Stealing also, contrary to the same Criminal Offences Act as well. In all, 11 charges, the same, stealing and, conspiracy to steal, also defrauding by false pretenses, and of course, willfully causing financial loss to the state, contrary to Section 179 of the Criminal Offences. Also using public office for profit making, collaboration to commit a crime, to which using public office for profit, also contrary to Section 179 of the Criminal Offences Act of 1960, and then obtaining public property by false statement, also in contravention of Section 5 of the Public Property Protection Act of 1977. There's also the charge of money laundering, also in contravention of the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2020 at 1044, and then finally conspiracy to commit money laundering contrary to Section 3 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act. So finally, Mr. Dubuahene, the wife, and 2 others, they've been charged with 11 counts. Remember, Mr. Dubuahene last week also sued the Attorney General for defamation. So we'll wait to see how this case will unfold. But the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayinde, is addressing these and many others. I can take you live to the former. We'll have that feed for you pretty soon because the Attorney General is about to speak to the media. Key matters that obviously will find expression in his presentation is the decision taken by the Ghana Bar Association at the end of the media review, where the bar described as unconstitutional President Mahama's suspension of the Chief Justice pending the final determination of some petitions seeking her removal. The bar says that President Mahama must lift that suspension and get a Chief Justice in office, plus other matters that they discussed. And this was a resolution that was put to vote, passed, and contained in a communique that came through. We'll take a short break here on the program. When we return, we'll hear from the Attorney General and Minister for Justice.